Welcome back to today's section. Last week we looked at finance and managerial finance, and we are heading to Unit 2, and we are going to look at the concept of time value of money. As the saying goes, that money today is not the same as money tomorrow. So we are going to learn more about the time value of money. Right. So section 1, we are going to look at simple interest, and these are our section objectives. So by the end of this section, you should be able to explain the concept of time value of money, use the simple interest formula to estimate interest on loans and receivables, and also estimate the future values based on the simple interest. Alright, so what is interest? If we say interest, we've been using it daily, but we might not know what it means. So maybe you can borrow money from your friend, or your friend will give you money and tell you that I'm giving you 100 cedis, but in return I will take 105 cedis. So the difference between the amount he is giving you and the total amount that you are paying back to him is the interest. Alright, so simple interest applies when a loan or investment is repaid in a lump sum. So where you are paying the money at once, that is when we charge the interest on the whole amount. Alright, so simple interest can be calculated by finding your principal amount. So the principal amount is the amount that the person is giving you, and the R is the interest rate. Alright, the amount that you are paying on the amount given, and the number of period it will take for you to pay it back is what we call the period, and it's represented by T. So SI, representing simple interest, equals principal times the rate times the time. Alright, so let's use this example. Amma got 1,000 cedis from Vim Bank at 10% per year. So if interest is estimated on a simple interest basis, what is the interest to be paid on the loan? So Amma got 1,000 cedis from Vim Bank. So the amount that Amma borrowed from the bank is the principal. The rate at which the loan was given to her is the rate. I hope you understand. Yeah. And the T represent the time, how long it will take, or the period it will take Amma to repay the lump sum or the amount. So SI equals P times R times T. So here our principal is 1,000 and our rate is 10%, which is also written as 0.10, and the time given here is 1 because the question indicated per year, so it means that it's just 1 year. So to find your simple interest, you just take your calculator. Let's confirm what is there. So 1,000 times 0.10 times 1. So the simple interest on the loan is 100 cedis. So this 100 cedis is the amount that Amma is going to add to the principal amount on the day of repayment. I hope you get it. Alright, so let's try our hands on this example too. You borrowed 2,500 Ghana cedis from your friend to pay your school fees on a promise you will pay the principal amount and 15% interest in 2 years. So requirement, how much interest would you pay your friend if the agreement was on a simple interest? I want you to try your hands on this based on how we solved the example 1. So I'll pause the video for just a few seconds so that you try your hands on it. Okay, yeah, I hope you're able to do it. Yeah, so the principal amount here is 2,500. The interest rate is 15%, which is represented by 0.15, and the period given here is 2 years. In example 1, we were given only 1 year, but here is 2 years. So if it's 10 years, it means you're going to multiply it by 10. If it's 20 years, you're going to multiply it by 20. Right? So 2,500 times the 15% by 2 will give you 750 Ghana cedis. So this is the interest that your friend is going to pay on the principal amount. Okay, let's move on. Alright, so in a question, you may be asked to find the amount of the loan. You are going to be asked to find the amount of the loan. So the amount of the loan is actually the amount that you are going to pay back. Alright, so the principal amount plus the simple interest that was calculated on it. So the summation of the principal and the interest will give you the amount that you are supposed to pay. So it looks more like the future value of the borrowed amount that you are going to pay. Alright. Okay, let's read what is here. Since you must pay the loan amount and the interest at the end of the specified period, the amount you pay must be the sum of the principal and accumulated interest. And the amount is known as future value or maturity value, as I said. So the future value is if it will take you 3 years to pay, at the end of the third year, you are supposed to get the principal amount, which is the amount that you borrowed, plus the interest will give you the amount. So from example 1, Amma borrowed 1,000 cedis from Vink Bank, and the interest that we calculated was 100 cedis. So if you are to find the maturity value, it means you are going to add the interest to the principal, and we are going to get 1,100 Ghana cedis. Alright, so there might be situation whereby t is greater than 1. So in a question, you don't always need to find the interest first before later you come and add the principal to it. There is a formula that you can do the calculation at once. Alright, you can only use this formula where the time or the period is greater than 1. So always take note, where t is greater than 1, you can use this amount formula. Alright, so we know A represents the maturity value and P is the principal plus simple interest. So from this formula we can substitute. So simple interest equals the principal times rate times time. So wherever we see simple interest or SI, we represent it by PRT. Right, so let's go down. So A equals P plus PRT because SI is now represented by PRT. So factorizing P out, we have A equals P into bracket 1 plus RT. Alright, so whenever a question asks you to find the maturity value or the question asks you to find the future value, you use this formula and find it. That is, if it is simple interest. Compound interest might be different, so take note. When the interest is simple interest, you can use this formula to find the total amount that will be paid at the end of the loan term. Alright, so let's try with this example. We solved it on our first example, but let's solve the same example using the new formula and see. So Amma got 1,000 cedis from Vink Bank at 10% per year. So if interest is estimated on a simple interest basis, what is the total amount to be paid? So you saw the requirement. They didn't ask you to find the simple interest. They said what is the total amount to be paid. So it means you are finding the maturity value. Alright, so let's use this formula. We said A equals P into brackets 1 plus RT. Now our P is given to be 1,000 cedis. R is the rate, which is 10%. You can also represent it by 0.10, and we multiply it by 1 because the period is just 1. So yes, you just do 1. Yeah, so as you can see in the brackets, we all did board mass way back in the SHS. So let's do simple calculation. Let's solve what is in the bracket first. So the 0.10 will multiply the 1. Whatever you get, then you add it to the 1. I hope you get it. Then you multiply it by the 1,000. Let's try it and see. You can also try with your calculator to confirm. to 1 plus 0.10 times 1. Yeah, so we are getting 1,100 Ghana cedi. And that was exactly what we had in our previous example. So this one, you see, we didn't calculate the simple interest first. We just substituted everything in the formula. So anytime the question asks you to find the total amount to be paid, you can go forward and use this formula. All right, let's move on. All right, so converting months into fractions or decimals per year. So sometimes the period or the time wouldn't be given to you in years. Sometimes they can give it to you in months. So let's read what is there. Short-term loans expire within a year. Because of this, if the period is stated in months, we must convert the month into a fraction or a decimal per year. All right, so let's try with this example. Convert 18 months into years by expressing your results. Let me pause. Yeah, so convert 18 months into years by expressing your results into a fraction. You know, a year is made up of 12 months. All right, so whenever you are to convert the months into years, you divide the total number of months over 12 because every year is made up of 12 months. So 18 months will be equal to 18 over 12, which is equal to 1.5 years. I hope you understand. So 1.5 years doesn't mean 1 year 5 months. 1.5 years means 1 year 6 months because half a year is 6 months. I hope you get it. Yeah, so whenever the period is given to you in a monthly form, try and convert it into years by finding this fraction before using it in your formula. So let's assume they give you 24 months. So 24 months will be 24 divided by 12, which is 2 years. And you know 24 months is 2 years exactly, right? But sometimes you have to use your calculator to be sure of what you are doing. All right. Yeah, so sometimes they can give you the simple interest, they can give you the rate and the time, and you may be asked to find the principal amount. So you just do change of subject to the formula and you get your principal amount. You can also be asked to find the rate. It's the same formula, then you manipulate it, you make R the subject. You can also make T the subject to find the time. So principal equals the simple interest over the R times T. If you want to find R, it's SI over PT. And if you want to find T2, is what? SI over PR. So let's try our hands with this example. Kofi borrowed 3,800 Ghana cedis for 18 months and paid 705 Ghana cedis simple interest on the loan. What rate of interest did he pay? So have you seen something? They give us the simple interest and we have to find what? The rate. The rate is R. So in the formula, you just make change of subject, you make R the subject. Since you have SI, you have your R, you have your T, we can easily find, you can easily find your R because you have your interest, you have your principal, and you have the time. Right, so R equals SI over PT. So the simple interest given in the question is 705 Ghana cedis. Our principal amount is 3,800, as you can see in the formula, and the time is 18 months. So as we did in our previous slide, you convert the 18 months into years. All right, you multiply by the denominator, then you do your division. So you get 705 over 5,700, and at the end we are going to get 12.4%. The question asks us to find the interest rate. So anytime you are finding rate, it means you convert it to what? Percentage form. Alright, so 12.4 percent. You can also be asked to find the T. You just go through the same formula, the same procedure. You make your substitutions, then you find T. Here, T is not in percentage, so don't forget. T is time, so whatever you get is in years. I hope you get it. If you have to find the principal amount, whatever you get is in Ghana cedi or the currency form given, if not Ghana cedi. Alright, so I hope now you know how to calculate simple interest. You know how to calculate principal amount when simple interest is given. You know how to convert month into years to be used in your computation. Alright, so section summary. Let's summarize everything here. So we said simple interest is the interest that is estimated on the principal amount only. So simple interest is the interest that is estimated on the principal amount only. So in some cases, the period will be stated monthly. If that happens, the interest must also be converted into monthly interest. Otherwise, the period should also be converted into years. Alright, so likewise, how you calculate the time or the period from months to years. You can also maintain the months and convert the interest rate from year or years to months. I hope you understand. That is what it says. So the caveat is that monthly interest should go with the monthly period and yearly interest should go with the yearly period. Yeah, so there are some questions here for you to try your hands on. We have some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 questions for you to try your hands on here. Yeah, so thank you and I'll see you in the next section.